Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. I call this meeting to order. Please rise if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of the minutes from the April 14, 2026 meeting. Did everyone have a chance to take a look?
I did.
Any issues, concerns, complaints?
Nope.
Nothing.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written.
All right, I second the motion. All in favor? All right. Minutes are accepted as written. Is there a signature page?
I knew we were forgetting something.
Let's do it in the back.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Something is on there, they'll know. Oh no, that's not gonna work though, because that's just a draft.
We'll get it.
Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Well, I'm gonna keep going on until she says what's what. Okay, warrant number 21, expenses $74,480.90. Checks written in series 16364 to 16372. Receipts $36,793.46. Receipts written in series 2029 to 2093. Percentage of 2024 real estate taxes collected year to date 97.2%. Percentage of 2025 real estate taxes collected year to date 89.6%. Which brings us to open session. Does anybody have anything?
That would be your time.
My time, okay.
Yep, if you
So
have something, yep.
I assume you already read the memorandum, right?
So I wasn't able to read it in its entirety.
I couldn't open it on my email.
All right, so in short, a group of people who present themselves as a legitimate wind company peddle a contract to landowner, and landowner does not understand that these guys will eventually default on the contract, leaving landowner and township with uncollected taxes. So any landowner who signed this contract will be declared in bankruptcy within 25 years, which is the life of the turbine, or earlier if anything adverse happens. Right. So I already presented it in the town of Peru, and they said they cannot do it quickly enough. They believe that legal constraints are such that they can only put for vote updated version of wind ordinance in November. I was hoping to get your take on this. The reason it's urgent is because as some of you know, town of Ramford recently issued permit for wind ordinance. I spoke to Richard Colomb, who is Ramford's code officer, and I asked him point blank, why did you permit them to do it? And he said they complied with our wind ordinance. He said, we have a very strict wind ordinance, and they complied with it. So, right, so what I propose is that the town, any town, would update wind ordinance to require financial assurance that any wind developer would pay property taxes and removal of the towers. Right? This has to be financial assurance separate from the company, because the company can always be spinned off, cut off, and defaulted. Right? So before anyone can break the ground constructing those towers, developer has to have assurance that property tax will be paid and the towers will be removed when project is completed. Otherwise, they will walk away from it, inevitably. Because there is simply no reason for them to meet final few years of tax obligation and then remove the towers.
Do you have somebody that's attempting to put them in Peru currently, or are you just trying to get ahead of it?
I have been in contact with wind developers since December 24. We have been negotiating. I was not understanding at first what they are doing. I just felt it's not right because there is a lot of deception. Like, for example, they present themselves on their website as Ivy League graduates. But I talk to them, I don't feel it, right? Then I talk to them over video conference. They have artificial background behind them saying, presenting it like it's a large office with a lot of people. But I Google them, I see where they are. It's a small office with multiple companies registered to it. Right? And multiple other things, like simple thing, they have too long to respond. Right? Some difficult thing, they give it to me, right? So it's inconsistent behavior, inconsistent with a large company, but consistent with a cutoff, intending to cash off and run. So I had bad feeling about them. So I kept negotiating until I finally understood what they are doing, but it took almost 18 months. Right? So right now I kind of in a little bit of a panic mode because there are 3 more places in Peru where they can put those towers, and I cannot control that, right? And if they understood some time ago that they're not gonna make a contract with me, that could mean that they could be submitting an application imminently, and there is no way to tell really. Maybe next thing I will do, I will just go to town office, look at tax map, find out landowners, send letters, maybe do that.
There can't be too many landowners that have the, elevation and.
Yeah, well, in town of Peru, one can put on Black Mountain, which is relevant to you. Right? I own the north side of the Black Mountain and Speckle Mountain, but also they can put it on both sides of Wesley Pond and also between Dickwell Road and the river. Right? So those are elevated spots, and so that's quite a few. So
Are you saying that your concern is that the town doesn't have enough coverage with like some sort of an ordinance that basically says that they'll once groundwork is started and they start building the wind turbines, that they have to have, I think ours says that they have to have an escrow account to pay taxes and for decommission when the life of the towers is spent. Is that not, does Peru not have those sort of coverages?
Oh, well, that's great because our town doesn't.
Okay.
So the only problem with escrow account is that inflation will keep it. Right? So it's better to have insurance contract than escrow account. But
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's probably maybe why they not contacting you. Right? Because in our town they do not have that. So if you have it, that's great.
So what you've discovered is that these people may even have a history of essentially getting someone into a contract, paying them for a while, and then when the windmill, which has what are they running, about a 20-year life now on average?
Up to 25 now.
Yeah.
Right. Not really, because it's 25 years. It's not enough time, right? What I discovered is that they have multiple companies at the same small office, right? And another thing is that after they construct the towers and package everything into single company, they sell it to wind developer. Those two parts I established,
Gotcha.
right?
Wow.
So they basically say we're done.
Right,
They build
exactly,
on-
exactly.
they
And
build on-
the problem with that is I explained that in a memorandum, as soon as projected sales will become smaller than projected maintenance, the wind operator will allow this company to default, because there is no reason not to.
Yeah, it's
Right, and
no game.
Right, and the maintenance can be quite a large number, so they can default on brand new towers if something adverse happens. Right, and we mean that there will be huge tax unpaid.
And then it would be the town, basically the landowner's expense to try and
Right,
dispose of them.
right, so landowner will default, and there will be lien on land, lien will be greater than market value of land, it will never get off, right? So that's basically, but if you have escrow account requirements, that should do it. So if it's done right. Because their concern is if they put into the escrow account certain amount of money, that amount of money may not be enough to remove towers, and also it is not clear how long does it take to remove the towers, because the contract is written in such a way that the banker never wants to be responsible for property tax, which means that the company will be filing for Chapter 11, because otherwise bank does not want to repossess towers directly, because then they would have to pay property tax. So they will require that the company will file for Chapter 11, so that then banker, without taking ownership of the towers, will receive some payout after Chapter 11 proceedings. Right? Which means that you cannot know when towers will be removed. It will be after Chapter 11 is completed, which could take years. So escrow account is not complete protection. Insurance contract is complete protection, provided that you also require that the insurance company would have certain quality, and that quality is maintained. So, right.
So I'd like to read something really quickly.
Uh-huh.
It says, this is our ordinance for wind power generation. So under the section for recommissioning and decommissioning, it says, the owner-operator shall at its own expense either recommission or decommission in accordance with at the end of its useful life. Now, at the end, and then it goes on to explain, at the end of a useful life, it's in quotations here, is defined as 30 days after the owner-operator decides to cease generating electricity, or 180 days after the end of life expectancy has stopped generating electricity for any reason. So the board may consider alternative timelines based on written requests from the owner-operator.
Yeah, so the scenario you should be thinking about is that the operator said no longer exists.
Can you say it again? I'm
The
sorry.
operator no longer exists.
The operator no
They
longer.
defaulted and people walked away. There is no more such entity. You ended up with towers standing on your land and no one wanting it.
And nobody
That-
paying taxes.
Right, so that's the scenario you should be concerned with. So if you have requirement about escrow account, that would cover it for some time, but it's not gonna be enough. If usually escrow account, it's just removal of the towers and 1 year of property tax. That's not gonna be enough.
No, I believe the escrow account is separate from the.
It's separate, it's gonna cover removal and 1 year of property tax. It's gonna be more than 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. And that's the thing, how do you contact someone when it's time for decommissioning and tearing it down? I'm sure the planning board would love to tackle this. Wow.
So Peru doesn't have these sort of protections at all? This
I don't believe
seeming
so.
like at least it's a minimum
You
protection?
see, I last looked at ordinance in 2013. Probably not, no. Well, I spoke to them yesterday, they would have told me.
Yeah.
Right.
Constantine, can I get your contact information from
Yeah,
the
yeah, there's lookware.com, you
Yep.
will get everything.
Okay, okay, excellent.
Well, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention,
Mhm.
that, these are kind of the issues that our neighbors are taking a look at, so thank you very much. And, dare I say, your accent is astounding, I love it.
Just, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
So, in Peru, I proposed that the town board would impose temporary moratorium on wind project pending changes in wind ordinance.
Yep.
And they told me
Yeah,
that
we,
they cannot
we are very familiar with such a moratorium.
do,
Yeah.
they told me they cannot do that without vote of the town. What is your take on
Right.
that?
Yeah, I think it-
More.
For
Yeah,
moratorium?
they could call,
An emergency session.
they could call an emergency town meeting
Town meeting, yeah.
and
Yeah.
vote on it,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so you're on the same
Yeah.
page. They also
Ah,
said
We put
that.
moratoriums
Yeah,
on all the time.
Yeah,
We did the solar one like
Yeah,
3
we-
times.
Did a
Oh, yeah.
solar one, you did
Yeah.
barrel
Yeah.
one.
So it's possible to do this quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
The
right,
select
that's,
board can.
that's
Well,
what we
there's
did
requirements for
to buy the
notification.
time to get the town to
So
vote
it's-
on the
yeah,
actual.
It's 180
ordinance.
days to
Yeah.
work on the ordinance, meaning if
Yeah.
any applications come in,
What are they?
they're on hold until the ordinance
Yeah.
is looked at. So
Yeah.
the select board has the power to do
Can't be
that.
tomorrow, I guess.
No.
So are there any requirements for quorum or such?
There needs to be a select board
Yeah.
quorum.
Yes.
Yep. And they put a moratorium on it, gives you 6 months or 180 days, whatever it is, and then at that time, that gives you the time to address the ordinance. The ordinance itself would still have to go to town vote to be voted on, with, whether it's in November or at a special town meeting, you gotta do all those, special public hearings and the certain days and everything, but as far as the moratorium goes, your select board has the power to do that.
All
Really?
right, do you have a reference on main code for this?
The statute for that, I don't off the top of my
Okay,
head.
all right, okay, I will find it, thank you.
Alrighty?
Thank
Thank
you.
you, have a good night.
Thank you.
and if all neighbors would call and give us heads up when
No,
when
it's a
there's
problem, I
something
know.
coming down the pike, right?
So he's not interested in, he just wants to let us know.
Let us know,
so
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't get,
Well, he obviously doesn't want them on his property and
No.
doesn't want them on our side of Black Mountain, but from what I understand, isn't like Harvard or Yale own our side of Black Mountain?
I think it's Stanford, but it's under the
Stanford?
Beirut Corp. And then there's another place
Yeah.
called Concord Holdings that, like, just above yours.
Yeah,
So there's 3 property owners that converge at the peak,
okay,
including.
yeah, okay.
yeah, the decommissioning thing is a hard thing because.
It is.
They can say they're gonna decommission, but in 20 years, are they gonna be even a company? That's the hard part, you don't know. That's the same thing with solar farms, you have to have a decommissioning plan. This one has liability insurance in it as well, so.
Yeah.
this one- but
Right.
moratorium's
There's a
not a
place,
bad idea.
there's a place I work fairly often in North Carolina, and there's a solar farm that's, well, it's been a long time since I've looked at big plots, but I'd say it's probably around 8 to 10,000 acres of windmills, and they're all deadline now.
Oh, so sad,
So,
yeah, and there's
yeah.
nobody taking care of them.
Yeah, and they'll be there for
Till they fall down.
who knows how long.
Wow.
That'd be kinda fun to see though.
Yeah.
Them all coming down. at the same time.
They break up in pieces
Dominoes.
and they're bad.
They're bad.
You were right, by the way, it is,
Yeah, it's not about who's right. Alright, is there anything else for open session? Okay.
What's the
motion
cottage road concern? The cottage road concern.
So, do you mind speaking to that question?
Sure, I received a call, so there's been a few incidences where I've gotten a call about a complaint from a resident there with a stray dog, well, not a stray dog, but a dog that's at large, or there's been claims that it's been at large, but has never really been able to be proven. And so I was asked to be here in preparation or to be able to address any questions about that. It might be being raised to a higher level of misunderstanding of what followed through or what needs to be done.
Okay.
But
You got
Never
to bring
seen
a
it.
dog down to the.
I've never seen a dog down there at large. That's
we're on that road
interesting.
law.
Yeah.
But we have not gotten any calls, by we, the royal we, most of the ACO hasn't gotten any calls that there was an issue down there since August, since the beginning of August. So, it was just a concerned resident who contacted, Representative Mike Lance, and he had a couple questions for us that he was gonna come and it doesn't look like he was able to make it, but yeah, that was
Interesting.
it. So.
You think we would have seen that?
All right. If there's nothing more for open session. Okay, nothing heard. RSU withdrawal update. We are still on step 8.
We are.
Video meetings and meeting minutes are available via link on each of the town's websites. Last meeting was held April 16th, 2026. Next meeting will be held on April 30th, 2026 in Buckfield, just like all of them. RSU withdrawal committee report, Mrs. Freeman.
I have nothing to tell you, because we haven't had another meeting yet. We are working with the lawyer and the educational consultant. We did find out, however, that our valuation, property valuation, is dependent upon the electric utilities. I wish I brought that paper with me. It's dependent upon the electric utilities. What did Nick say? Do you have it?
Pull it up.
All right. Jesse's got it. It's very interesting.
Utilities, really?
Yes.
So,
The amount of electricity we use?
Yes. No.
yeah, so it says, I want to share an important finding that may help explain some of the imbalance we've seen as we evaluate the current structure and its impact on our town. Earlier this week, I met with a valuation professional to better understand why Hartford has experienced significant larger increases compared to communities like Rumford and Mexico. What came out of that conversation was a key distinction of how utility property, specifically transmission and distribution assets, is valued.
So they are, if you have those utilities, the value of your town is significantly reduced.
I guess. In simple
To the
terms, the
tune-
utility company provides the value of its own infrastructure to the state. The state typically uses that number when determining the state valuation, which is the factor that goes into what our town is valued at, not like what John O'Donnell does, but what our town is valued at on the ED 279.
And how much state revenue we will get.
Right, how much comes into each town for our.
But don't we all get the same amount?
No,
No.
no. And it changes every year. It's not
No,
consistent.
what I mean to say is the towns all get the same amount.
No.
No.
So,
No.
I just had a meeting with with Kristen Chapman, and she showed me a number. It was like 8,100 and change across the board for each town.
That's this year.
Okay.
It changes every year.
Yeah,
It's
but
not-
still the number is the same for each town.
I
No.
think you got mixed up on that.
Yeah.
Where did I go astray?
So, there's the amount that the state gives, and then there's amount that each town has to match. So, as far as the total amount paid for each student, that number is the same, but what differs is how much the state covers for the student and how much the town has to pay for that student. So, we are paying a significantly more money out of our town pockets
Per student.
per student
To the tune of $6,000.
than the town of Mexico is.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
and Mexico's valuation is less because of the,
Reval,
the what?
the reval.
Or
No.
lack.
No, because of the
utilities,
utilities
infrastructure that's there.
infrastructure.
When was the last time a revaluation was done
It's
in
not-
Mexico?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
I trust me, cause I got corrected on it 15 times, cause it has nothing to do with the revaluation.
It's nothing
It's
to
the-
do with the
the-
building revaluation.
It has
it's
nothing to
the
do with
utility
property
poles.
tax valuation, it has to do with what the
It's
state
weird.
says your town is
It's what-
valued at, it's two
And
separate
that comes
numbers.
from the utilities.
Which is why there's few different politicians lobbying to revisit how the valuations are done.
definitely.
Because
And so we would pay less if we had more options? Or is it the actual like poles and the wires and, right?
Yeah, it's the infrastructure.
Infrastructure of
Yeah.
the
Not
But is it,
utilities.
not-
so it's not
just
like, oh, we
CMP
have
or
like
whatever.
5 different options for internet, and so that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
no, no,
Okay.
no.
It's just the actual infrastructure.
It's the actual.
Poles and wires,
Which we have no control over.
correct.
Right.
So when they put
Because-
up the,
Unless we wanna go without electricity altogether in Sumner, and
Yeah.
then, who
So if
knows?
CMP were to
Well, then
come
we
in
wouldn't have
and they
any
replace
infrastructure, it would be even
everything.
higher, right?
Oh, maybe,
Yeah.
The price of kerosene would go really high.
but they must depreciate assets, like when they replaced all the poles.
I was gonna say, they replaced a lot
Right,
of poles,
they,
so.
they probably valued, like, what is a new pole worth versus an old, they probably
Right.
upped us.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So so if they haven't done a valuation on their town in 40 years, that literally has nothing to do
Zero.
with the property values.
0, it's not the same valuation, has nothing to do with Johnny O'Donnell.
It's the value
I was
of the
confused on that one
poles.
too, cause I
the
brought it up,
CMP
made a fool of
poles and
myself
the
in a
wires.
public meeting, so it has nothing to do with it.
That's
The
what it
way,
is.
the way it typically works, isn't the more you have, the more you have to pay? Not the opposite?
Well, it is, but
All the
apparently not for that.
mill infrastructure is probably not the power company.
If our infrastructure is better, I guess
Right.
it means that we can afford to pay more.
Except that, you forget
Sean,
that
stop fixing the roads.
in Mexico and Rumford, they have another infrastructure to deal with. Not only do they have the public utilities infrastructure, but they have the mill and the hospital and storefronts and restaurants. And Mexico has Walmart and the tire place, and
Business.
so they have other
Businesses
businesses.
that they
So
can
that
tax.
when the tax goes up, they just say to Walmart and to
Pay up.
pay up. So it doesn't come out directly of the people's pockets. Here, every penny comes out of our pockets, every penny.
Is there any way of tracking, so we basically pay, it's like, I did the math, I basically take what we pay, what our town ponies up, and then divide it by the students that we have that live in Sumner, which is, I think it was something like 104. So it works out to be like $10,800 or something like that,
Yes.
a student.
$10,000 a student, that's
Yeah,
right.
so is there any way for us to prove that money is used on our, you're smiling, I already know the answer.
I know you do. So, one of the things that my friend John Petroselli said during the ad hoc committee is he said, right now, and this was when we were looking at the 24-25 school year budget, because we had to compare apples to apples. So we looked at 24-25 in the ad hoc committee. So that was more than a year ago. He said, already these 3 towns, with the state subsidy, we pay $10 million into
Who pays that 10 million?
Hartford, Sumner, Buckfield.
Okay, yeah.
The 3
Yep,
towns
yep.
together pay $10 million to RSU 10, which, and we have
Which is a
altogether.
quarter of the budget, just about.
Yeah, just about. And we have 497 kids, 498, 501, so right around 500 kids, which is $10,000 a kid. Why can't we have a good school system, a good school district?
No, it's $20,000 a kid.
Is it
right?
$20,000? Yeah,
Right.
20,000, right, $20,000 a kid.
So when you average what the 3 towns pay,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then divide that by whatever number that is.
So, $20,000 a kid, why can't we have a really good school system? And nobody seems to think we can do that for $10 million. But I'm here to say,
$20,000 a
kid.
kid is
not
every
enough.
private school in the state of Maine.
It is.
You could tuition them.
So we privatize Sumner schools. Fair enough.
I don't know how to do all of that, I really
Yeah,
don't.
I'm just
I
being
think that's
silly.
an interesting thing though that you should share with like the town, cause, okay, let our budget be $10 million, it's what we're paying now.
Well,
What
so
difference
We've
does it
tried.
make? But then
We've tried that.
literally
They don't
tried
get
that.
it?
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Nope.
But what will happen is if we withdraw and people vote for us to withdraw, we will elect a new school board. And it's the new school board's responsibility to come up with a budget and the curriculum and all of that other stuff that's.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying, I wish
Yeah.
the town would, all of the townspeople would understand that.
I would hope so.
Because they're all afraid the budget's gonna go up.
It is gonna go up. Have you ever lived anywhere where
But
the
then it
taxes
didn't
don't
go
go
up, but is it
and the
gonna go up
budget's-
severely more?
That's what we
Is it
don't-
gonna go up 3%? Or is it gonna go up 10%?
I don't,
But I think in
Because-
their mind, they think it's gonna go up 25 to 30%.
but we can't predict
And
that.
you can't predict, so
You
it's hard
can't.
for you to say, but when you
And-
say it that way, like we're already paying $20,000 per kid,
That's what we already pay.
that's what we
Right.
already pay today, so
Right.
why shouldn't we be able to do something with that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I
So,
think,
and I also like the idea that if we don't have telephone poles and Buckfield doesn't have telephone poles and Hartford doesn't, I would rather be chipped in with towns that look like us as opposed to the town that has too many telephone poles now, in my opinion. If it lowers their bill by less than half.
and Rumford, Mexico also has increased poverty as well. And so they get more because
That
they're
plays into
poorer.
a fact, that's
It
a
does.
factor into the ED 279 as well.
It is.
Yep.
It's such a confusing formula, how they figure out the ED 279. And before the ED 279 is the EPS, Essential Programs and Services, where they, whoever the big they is, decides what is essential for programs and services. And they can say, violin lessons are not essential programs and services. We're not gonna pay for violin lessons. Okay. I just used that as a crazy example. And then that will be reflected in the ED 279. There will be violin lessons and a 0 after every one of them because they won't fund it. There are things that they think are essential, or rather, there are things they think are not essential that we think are. And then we have to think about what's required federally and what's required from the state. A lot of that has to do with special ed laws, and a lot of them are unfunded mandates. The feds say, you must
With no
do this for
money.
Johnny, Billy, and
Yeah.
Susie,
Yeah.
and we're not paying you anything, but you've gotta do it for Johnny, Billy, and Susie. Okay. We can only do what we can do. I wish I had answers. And when everybody says, are our taxes gonna go up? The answer's always yes. But I think we, the withdrawal committee, would like to see the taxes going up
A
like
little bit at
this
a time.
instead of like that.
Yeah, no,
Every year.
absolutely.
That's what we would like.
But I think that's what they're afraid of, is they're afraid the taxes are gonna go like 30%.
I know, and some of the rumors that are going around are that the withdrawal committee has the power to hire and fire and
Oh, really?
determine the budget. Yeah, we have no power at all. We're making recommendations. All we're doing is research and saying, okay, because of the EPS and the ED 279 and the way that they decide what the valuation is of our town, the state valuation, 75% of state valuation and 25% of the population go into the budget. Okay, and Kristen said last time, Sumner's increase is going to be 9.6 or 9.8%.
Yeah.
Our increase last year was 8.9, 8 point something,
I thought it was like 9.4.
or maybe it
I
was.
don't remember.
It's
It's been right around 10.
9%.
Yeah, and that's
Each time.
crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So the total budget this year is for RSU 10 is more than $45 million. So
So the last meeting we had got a little heated
It
and
did.
whatnot, and contentious and whatnot. So I think the main concern is specifically with teachers is that the only way that we're gonna keep taxes low to make this palatable is to have to fire a whole lot of people and whatever.
So that's
Yeah,
big.
I will
Uh,
say, my someday maybe daughter-in-law is a teacher, and she has those concerns as well, but I made it very clear to her. nobody's looking to fire teachers.
No.
Nobody, in the state has requirements, X number of kids, you need a teacher, period, right?
Yes.
Like, nobody's looking for that.
And-
do we need a principal and an assistant principal and a superintendent and an assistant superintendent?
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know what we need, but do we need all of that? That's where I think the cuts need to be made.
Yeah.
And remember that teachers' contracts are negotiated with collective bargaining agreements, and they are 3 years long, and they stagger them so that teachers are one group, and then bus drivers, custodians are another group, and then administration and somebody else is a third group. So we've got contracts coming up for renewal in 2027, 2028, and 2029. We have to honor the contracts. We're not gonna, first of all, we have no power to fire anybody or hire anybody. That's up to the new school board. What positions they keep, what positions they eliminate. RSU 10 has already eliminated a bunch of positions.
Yeah.
So,
So I think the big thing that our group struggled with, I sent an email out a couple weeks ago after that meeting, and I think what we struggle with as a group is nobody wants to make that decision, because ultimately it's not going to be this group's decision on what the school budget is and how it, but it is our group's job to find out all the facts and basically build what, based off of those recommendations and facts, build a budget and a school system structure that there's a dollar figure attached to it that the voters can vote on. So, no, we're not.
This is what we think it's gonna look like.
So
it's proposed.
we're gonna do an RSU versus an ASL or ALS or whatever, and all these other school structures or whatever. So if we do an RSU, it's gonna be, and we're gonna have we're gonna have a part-time superintendent, or whatever. We have to make those decisions as a group. I mean, we're gonna have to, because all we're doing is bouncing the ball back and forth between us and our educational advisor that's saying, well, you could do it this way, you could do it that way. She's not gonna make the decision, she's gonna make recommendations. But it's gonna be our group that's gonna have to make the decision to say, okay, we're gonna have a part-time superintendent, the principal's gonna have a dual role of an assistant or whatever, curriculum coordinator, I'm just making stuff up. But we're gonna have to make that decision, and pretty stinking soon, if we want this to be going to vote on November. So,
Yeah.
and we gotta put a dollar figure to it, what it's gonna actually cost to be able to pull that off, and then
The new school board.
the new school board will actually have to pull that off, and then decide, all right, well, they proposed this, but we
need to do
this a little bit, we need to tweak it. And it's probably gonna have to stay within some guardrails, or the voters aren't gonna, go for it.
And ultimately, it's up to the voters in November whether we withdraw or not.
Right.
Depending on this proposal that we've been working on for almost 3 years now.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where are we proposing school, student-teacher ratios and that sort of thing. There's no, there's some guidelines from the state,
Yes.
we're way, we're currently probably close to 10 students under that.
Yeah.
So I'm just making up a number because I can't remember off the top of my head, but, you got up to 25 students K through 8 per teacher, we're at 17. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that that's horribly I don't know if that's including Mexico
What they're doing up
and
there.
what they're doing up there, if that's just our 3 schools or whatever. I'm not saying that it needs to change. I don't know what it needs to be. But that's where the educational.
Yeah, 28 sounds like a lot to me.
It is a
Compared to
lot.
classroom.
It is a lot.
Right, so it does change. It gets higher when you get into high school
Yeah, okay. I was gonna
and whatever.
say.
They're supposed to be better behaved when they get there.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of as the group, just my personal opinion, that we need to think about it a little bit differently. Yes, we don't get to make the final say and who stays and who goes, and the sad part, all right, I'm gonna back out. I almost stepped in it, but when you're talking about unions, you're talking about who has the most seniority. That doesn't mean they're the best teacher.
Yeah.
And there's good teachers down there, there's great teachers down there, and there's poor teachers down there. In every single school, and every single school in America, there's a bad teacher, absolutely. But they might have the most seniority and the most credentials. So and they might be paid the highest too, so, you know what I mean, like.
And there are some things that are beyond our control, even the school board's control. We found out that 30 years ago, the collective bargaining people made an agreement with Anthem, Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They are the only insurance company that
We can use.
that they can use.
That the school.
The school.
The school's
The
like
school
for
Can we
employees.
separate, can we do something different?
Nope,
No, because it's all union.
it's all from the collective bargaining.
Yeah.
So 30 years ago, they made this agreement.
That's why they have great insurance.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why it goes up 14% a year.
Yeah,
I don't know when the
14-15%.
last time you got insurance quotes was, but there's a reason why my family's not on Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Well, yeah, we don't use,
Yeah.
well, it is an option at work, because
Yeah.
we get like 3 different options, but that's not the one I go with.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that is the only option for school, statewide.
Wow,
So whatever it goes up.
Forever?
Yeah.
till the agreement's.
Gee.
I think a lot of people don't understand how much money we're already paying in.
I
Yeah.
agree.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that's, and I didn't till today really sitting here.
Yep.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
we're paying so much now, it's crazy. So we're almost better off to have our own school, I think.
Well, at least we.
At least we'd have our own control.
Yes.
Control.
Yes, you have
You know,
control.
I mean,
So if you don't like what's going on, you go to your school board reps that actually have the power to do something.
Right.
And
Currently-
in current town.
Currently, we don't.
Right.
So even if all of our school board reps were all on the same page and they try to do something, you either gotta get Mexico or Rumford to go along with you in order to get it passed.
Right,
So if it doesn't benefit them, they're not interested in doing it.
right.
You say, oh, well, they're just gonna do what's right for the students.
Yep.
Have you ever, I mean, I've sat through 2 of them now, and
Yeah.
it's extremely frustrating, and it's condescending, and they're looking at you like, just do as we ask and don't question us. That's the attitude that you get from those representatives up there.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't have any confidence that they're gonna do right by the kids or me as a taxpayer, so.
Right.
If I can go to, you know, the meeting where there's 9 or 12 people from these towns, which that's a whole nother hurdle,
Yeah, it
we
is.
gotta get those people to.
But at least they're our neighbors on
But
this
they're our
side of the
neighbors,
mountain.
you know,
Right,
they're
you
here,
know.
they pay taxes here, they do, you know, and we go and sit and have conversations, they gotta be able to look us in the eye and be like, alright, well, this is why we made this decision.
Right,
And we get to elect them.
right.
We know they're gonna have to face you until it's market
Or-
or.
Exactly,
But
right?
I will tell you too, from being there, they treat Kristen awful.
Oh, I know, I've seen it
They,
myself.
oh, it's terrible how they
She's
treat
asking too
Kristen.
many questions.
They don't want
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
else.
they
don't like that.
Don't ask any questions, just sign the check.
Well, and that's why I love Kristen. Kristen is not gonna sit there and not ask questions.
It's great.
She knows the statutes and the laws.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what they need.
So,
They
and
don't like
I'm
to be held
sad that they
accountable
treat her
for
so
that.
poorly.
They do, it is sad.
It is very sad.
Every time I've gone.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I wish there were a bunch of guys, cause that's the way we used to take care of that.
Yeah.
In the Navy.
Yeah.
I love the wood chip.
It's very effective.
It is.
so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, RSU 10 report. Proximo.
Well, we pretty much got it.
Got it. All right.
The only thing I would add is just the fact that when the septic system at the school was being investigated for a new tank, it turns out that it's completely rotten through and it's been leaching into the ground, so they gotta, they're gonna have to go big. And so they're gonna collect new bids and figure out exactly what all is gonna have to take place.
Imagine our
to-
surprise.
Yeah.
to
It's
fix-
been a
fix
struggle
the
to get in
system.
touch with
10 years
anybody
ago.
to
Yeah.
give us
Yes.
any information. They're like, oh, we're just replacing a tank.
Right.
Can you give me something in writing so we can put it in the folder for the school so we have a
Nickerson's has to
record?
go there every other day and pump it all out.
Yes, because they're just, they have
Wow.
to Band-Aid it until they
Yeah.
get it right, yeah.
I wonder how
and-
much we're paying for that.
Well, that's what that extra $3 million is.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, all we want is a plan, some kind of plan, so we can keep it in their folder, and
Mhm.
they just don't wanna cooperate with us.
Oh, well.
Any,
Now they're gonna have to.
any more good news?
Calvin's involved.
That's
That's it? Okay. All right, planning board report. Mr. Interbartolo.
Alright, we had 3 building notification approvals. We did have a member, townsperson come and talk to us a little bit about ADUs, asking us to try to pull forward some of the MOCA changes, which are planned for 2027, so lot size changes. We've not been trained on the MOCA changes. The state passed a law that said we had to get training, but then they didn't fund or schedule the training by the date that they said we had to take it, so we're still waiting for them to do that. So don't have a lot to say there, but there will be changes that we'll need to make relative to the MOCA changes, and then there's probably some opportunity to clarify some of our like minimum lot size and things like that as well, so we're gonna take a look at that. We have a public hearing coming up on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Jeff's making margaritas afterwards.
So you want people liquored up when they vote.
He said after.
After, obviously. And the other note here is our newest member of the planning board was not able to fulfill their statutory obligation of the freedom of access training, which is required within 120 days of joining the planning board. And so we've yet to discuss this as a group. This is new information, but you know, that is a statutory requirement. So that's everything.
Okay, so does that mean that they are no longer a voting member of the planning board, barring getting this training completed?
Yeah, that's my
Okay,
assumption.
this is an online training course.
This is an online training course, yeah.
It was freedom of information.
Freedom of access, I think.
Yeah, freedom of access. Yeah. Okay.
I always try to say that too.
Yeah.
Forward.
Okay.
So, that's where we stand.
All right. Thank you very much. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Fire department report. Did they give us anything?
I didn't see
Did
one.
not.
Nope.
We did let them know there was a meeting.
Very well. Road report, Mr. Corson.
Posters are all pulled, things are drying out nicely, I've been grading. We got this end of town just about done, we'll be going probably to Berdine Road next week. Things are looking good. I got 21 block coming tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll get them unloaded somewhere.
Yep.
That's about it.
I just saw an invoice for Eastern Salt. Did we get more salt? Is that it?
Salt shed.
That should be it.
That's must have just been one from the last load, right?
Been at least 3 weeks.
Okay.
I don't typically go down Bonnie Road, but I went down there the other day. It looks great.
Yeah,
If you look at the roads the state did, they look terrible already.
yeah,
So they
no,
not
I'm happy
last
when
well,
it come
so,
back,
yeah.
it moved a little bit over the winter, but that's expected.
Yeah.
And I come back, it looks real good again.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Good.
Okay, thank you. All right, forms, reports, and correspondence. All right. We must sign this. This is an assessor's return. Does anyone want me to read this out loud?
We
Nothing,
trust you. That's why we elected you.
Who's witnessing this?
We are.
You are? Okay. Mhm. Thank you.
Oh, look at that. Hooray. Ta-da.
We got another one?
Yes, there was a rumor that there was a third, and there was a third.
Perfect.
Rumor was founded. We're gonna wait until.
That's all right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, opening of the bids for printing of the town report. Take a look at that one. Alright.
Pass that to Joel. Alright, here you go, Joel. Check this one. Franklin. This is the new one.
Express. Alright, should we start on my end?
Sure. We did open.
Alright.
Yeah, we did.
Alright.
We tabled this at the last one.
Gotcha, okay. Express copy was, $2,116 for their bid.
Franklin Printing, is that what it's called? Franklin Printing is $27.58.
Is theirs the one that says that they didn't include the postage?
It says an additional cost for mailing services, $165. Postage was not included, so we have to add $165. So I put this at almost $3,000.
Alright, this one is Minuteman Express, I'm sorry, Minuteman Press. Which looks like the grand total is $2,730.86. And, which if I recall was at the time more expensive than,
Yeah,
Joel's bid.
yeah, with postage, Express is about $2,200.
Franklin with postage would be $29.23.
And they added postage onto this bid, so 27.
Yeah.
Question, do you think the town might at some point decide not to mail out town reports and just leave them here at the office? We did find out, if we do it ourselves and do the mailing, it's like $500 or $600 by the time we get the license to do the bulk mailing and everything. So last year we found out it was cheaper to have the printer do it. But obviously if we don't mail them out, then,
I think people like getting them, I like getting them,
okay.
I get excited. But
Well,
I'm
that's
a
good
dork.
to know. Stacy?
If memory serves, there was a question last meeting about the number of pages.
Yes.
Has that been addressed?
Express.
Yeah, it was-
Yes,
yeah.
so it says 55 pages, but it says two-sided, because I did check with them and they said that's for 110 pages.
So we're comparing apples to apples.
Yep.
Nice.
So thank you for remembering.
Alrighty.
Out this one.
Yeah, that one's out.
This one's
Yeah.
out.
So,
The other question we didn't get to have answered last meeting was, what do you prefer, Norma? Do you have
Yeah.
an
I
opinion?
prefer Express, we used them a couple of times, I think it was when Sherry was here, but, I went back and looked at them, they're fine. They look good, they're the cheapest. I would say Express. We used Minuteman last year and they did a great job, but their price is much higher this year, so.
thank you for your insight.
Alright, well, I motion we, accept, Express's bid.
Second it?
Alright, all in favor?
Alright.
Okay. Express has, won the bid for the town,
Annual report.
annual report. Okay, thank you very much. Alright.
Oh, there it
No,
is.
yep, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, new business. Any new business? No.
Just one, no, it's not. Lee Berry was in, I guess Diane had checked with her regarding the fire department wanting the shed. She was gonna check with the school to see, I don't know.
They were interested in building it?
Yeah, can't think of the name, Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School.
They're the ones that built that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said something about life flight, you need to be 100 feet from life flight, so I don't know if that affects where it's gonna go, but she's in the process of trying to contact people and see if she could, if maybe that would save the fire department money or us money.
Okay. And that's 100 feet from the center of the helipad?
I don't know. I don't know if it's from the edge.
That
of
100
the
feet
pad.
has been a question, we had
Yeah.
that question when we were meeting with
I
Brian.
could always get in
and
touch
things
with
like
Lifeline, and there should be somebody I can reach out to, tell me.
that. If it's from the edge or is it from the center?
What's their safety requirements? That being said, how, are these trees, when was the last time they
Well, I
flew
mean,
a bird
last,
around to make sure that they
we
can
did
cut
the whole
us down?
field last year, right?
No, I skipped last year, it was the year before.
Oh, geez, I missed
Yeah,
it.
so it should be mowed this year again.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, we get it.
You should be able to land MH53 on that, honestly.
Okay, so any old business? Is that new and old?
It's new, I know.
Okay. Upcoming events. Public hearing, May 5th, 2026. Town office at 6 p.m. Shoreland zoning ordinance.
And we did not add that the planning board meeting will be after the public hearing.
Immediately after?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The comprehensive planning committee is meeting April 29th at 6 p.m. here at the town office. So that's tomorrow. Notices, scholarship applications are due May 15th.
Yeah, that's new, it used to be April 30th, they updated it recently.
Alrighty, that concludes what we have in here.
Did we skip Brandon?
Hey, she didn't even look right.
Yeah, it's not even on here.
That's a good point.
Yeah, what the world?
I was fine.
Do you have anything?
I did write something down. I
Yeah,
said,
it's a report.
call volume has picked up steadily, and spring is in full swing. Stray animal calls and a multi-response neglect investigation have made up the bulk of activity this month. The neglect case remains open and is being handled in coordination with the state humane agents. On the community side, the ACO website has seen significant updates, and public education efforts through social media have increased with strong resident engagement. And I participated in a pet first aid and CPR training this month. Full monthly report will be available at the next meeting.
Okay.
Awesome.
Obviously you didn't report, so I'm gonna assume nothing's changed with the Levitt case going through the court system.
No, I did just get a whole bunch of old summonses that were never heard that are just now being scheduled for being heard. Like every week next month and most of June I'll be in court. So I don't know what happened or what, like, I talked to Robert, he said they'll show up when they show up. So just because it hasn't been heard yet doesn't mean it won't be.
Alright. Alright, well, that concludes business. I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second that.
Alright, motion's made and seconded, all in favor? Alright. Meeting concludes at 6:59, Tuesday, April 28th, 2026.